Okay, time to do something a little different. As many of you well know, there's a tendency in the Gundam series to boil their TV shows down to sets of 3 films. This makes the rather daunting task of trying to watch a 52-episode series a whole lot more palatable, since the movies are rarely more than 2 hours long. So, let's snatch up one of the more notorious Gundam series and see how the movie works out. Gundam Seed: The Empty Battlefield. I mean, how bad could it be? How ignorant art thou in thy pride of wisdom, cease you know not what it is you say. Good Lord, what a heap of junk. Here's the thing of it, when you adapt a TV show into a movie, you need to make sure that the main plot points are covered and that the characters are developed enough that the audience cares about them. I actually don't know the names of half the characters in Gundam Seed, and that's having watched the series several times. The only ones I know for sure are the main characters, and the ones who have such batshit loco names that I'm positive that they're mistranslations. If I don't care to remember a name, what hope is there for the character? For those of you who don't really keep up with Gundam things, this show was the first to be made in the 21st century, and was an attempt to bring the Gundam universe, which relied fairly heavily on tech from the 70s, into the modern era. Instead of magic psychics, we have coordinators, which are people who have been genetically modified to be, well, better than everyone else. No, really, they're just better. So obviously we have the fight of the Ubermensch versus the common man, or one would think. Well, no, turns out coordinators are generally helpful sorts, even if literally everyone else in the world thinks that they're subhuman. But even if your big super brain can't stop a bullet, it sure can come up with some nasty super weapons to fight back with. So here we are, once again, at war between the colonies and the Earth Federation. Like the original Gundam, the show takes place during the doldrums of the war, where both sides are desperately trying to put together new, nastier weapons to use on each other. And here we meet our main character, Kira Yamato, who goes to school in the neutral colony of Heliopolis. Seems okay so far. That is until you meet his friends Sai, Kazui, and Toru, and Miliaria.
One of these things is not like the others.
Alright, before I get any further, I do have to say that I'll try to use the dub names here as much as I can without ripping my own tongue out. His friends are apparently named Kuzi, Toll, and Mirialia. These are not names, these are kitchen appliance brands. But name butchery aside, Kira and his crew come under attack from the Zaft forces, who are there for the new high mobile weapon systems being developed in their neutral colony. On board the Zaft ship, captained by Not Shar, Captain Raoul Le Creuset, is Aslan Zala, one of Kira's longtime friends. The dub calls him Athrun, which doesn't really make any sense, but I suppose C.S. Lewis's estate still has a lockdown on that name. Can't wait for that new game to come out, Athura's Wrath. looks real good, don't it? Yeah. During the fighting, Kira meets with Kagali, who is semi-important later. She gets shoved into a closet shortly thereafter. He then ends up getting near a firefight near the Gundams that are in the process of getting hijacked. Woo, doggy, they are just all over the place with their designs, ain't they? I mean, Zeta Gundam had some wonky designs, but this is up there. But Kira jumps in the way of Aslan, and suddenly it's flashback central. Well, needless to say, Aslan and Kira are going to have a long chat about this whole situation, but next thing you know, Kira is stuck in a cockpit with Captain Ramius. Because fuck if I know what her goddamn first name is supposed to be. I'd put even money on it being something like Maria, but she's supposedly named after Marco Ramius from Hunt for Red October. So what we get for her is a name that sounds like someone vomiting.
Oh, Maria! Oh, Maria! Oh. Sorry, guys. I think I had some bad Murafraga. Oh, it might have been that cruise set I had for dinner.
If it seems like I'm harping a lot on the names, it's because it's pervasive all over the goddamn show. It got to the point where I wasn't even certain if they got things like Patrick Zala right. And don't even get me started on Murafraga. What the hell kind of name is that? Bad translations notwithstanding. What I'm getting at is that this movie comes with a hell of a lot of baggage. Most shows start with a relatively flat playing field. This one comes with a train wreck attached to it before it even gets underway. Kira gets in the command chair and shoots down Miguel's Jin, which incidentally is a pretty good-looking robot. For all the sins this series commits, and they are ever so numerous, the basic mech designs are not too shabby. Well, if I can't figure out what Captain Ramius' name is supposed to be, I sure as hell can't figure out what this girl's name is. Translation renders it as Nataro Bedrugiel. God only knows what it's actually supposed to be, but I guess this is what you get when you turn out your bag of Scrabble pieces and try to make a name out of it. Half these characters are named Flurkity Jerkin or some shit. How am I supposed to get into a show where it sounds like I'm having a stroke whenever I try to talk about it? And don't think for a minute that you can escape this by just watching the subs, because the subs seem to be done by the same numbskull who decided to translate the names like he did. I've watched bootlegs with better sentence structure and more panache. And out of everybody, I feel the worst for the poor voice actors that had to deal with this shit. It's not your fault you had to deal with a completely insane script. You tried, you really did. Well, most of you. And as if that isn't bad enough, this movie has some abysmal pacing. Not that I envy anyone the task of cutting down a whole TV show into 3 movies, but you have to give people a little bit of downtime between action scenes. Worse yet is when they cut half a chunk of a scene in that should be important, but then immediately cut away to something else. Like, thusly. This movie is 95 minutes long. It condenses 21 episodes of the show. That's 10 hours into an hour and a half. That's fucking lunacy is what that is. Lunacy. Lunacy. It's fucking crazy. Within a minute and a half of the Zaf dropping off their new mobile suits, they're back fighting again, blowing up colonies. I could have cut a better film together out of this thing in my sleep. And now it's back to Frey, or Flay, or Filet, or Ray Filet, or whatever this psycho redhead's name is. Oh wait, no, now it's back to Zaf. Oh wait, now it's a council meeting. Oh wait, now Lockus is singing. Slow the fuck down. Slow down. So now, Space Princess Peach has arrived, so we get to figure out that Frey is a gigantic racist who hates coordinators for really no reason. She's also kind of a daddy's girl. Oh, it all went wrong so fast. How'd it go wrong so fast? She was an emotional teenage girl to start off with, but now she's gone completely off the deep end. The Archangel crew wants to take Lockus hostage, but Kira does a more noble thing and dispenses with her. And really, the show could have ended right here. He meets Aslan in space, and Aslan says, "Hey, join our side. You're a coordinator. You're one of us. Why are you fighting with these guys?" But unfortunately, Kira is overcome with bad writing all of a sudden and ends up not joining the Zaft. So it continues on. Fight, talk, fight, talk. You know why this works better as a TV show and not as a movie? Because there's some audience downtime. Having it presented in this choppy, over-exuberant manner just makes me tired to watch it. Worse than that, it telegraphs everything it's going to do. If a character gets introduced seemingly at random, you better believe that they're gonna die. Basically, if the character wasn't in the first 15 minutes of this movie, their life expectancy is roughly 3 minutes. You know what the worst part of this is? The show itself, Gundam Seed, not that bad. It's not as nuanced and the characters are a little one-note, but it's eminently watchable and it's honestly pretty good. This is one of the worst chop jobs I've seen in a very long time. Everything is diced up so badly it's almost incomprehensible. Flashbacks cut into the narrative and go on so long that you can't tell what's supposed to be the main thrust of the story. This is no way to retell something, unless you happen to have an episode guide right next to you. And to compound matters, the music is hilariously inappropriate during combat scenes. Just goes to show that you shouldn't screw with something that was already just fine. And so in the final thrust of the story, they take all the really important parts of Andrew Waldfeld's character, just kind of throw it out the window. You know that really important scene he has with Kira and Kagali? Yeah, now it's butchered, chopped up, and mangled to near incomprehensibility. So when Kira and he fight, it lacks any of the emotional impact that it had before. Likewise, Kira, who at this point in the series is mentally and emotionally unraveling from the things he's had to do, It's just coming off like a whiny loser. Without the full breadth of the series where you can really see how the character is starting to come apart, it just seems to be one more example of how bad this cut is. And right then, at the end of the fight, the movie ends. That's it, roll credits, watch the next one. What the fuck are you trying to do, movie? Of all the scenes you could have ended on, let's end on the strike and burning wreckage? Yeah, that's a brilliant idea in this case, because the whole thing is a burning wreck. Badly edited, poorly conceived, lacking in any of the little nuance the series had. Whatever dense fucker edited this, I hope they're happy with the mess they made. I will say, don't let this deter you from watching the show proper. Seed as a series is much better pacing and nuance to it, though not as much as the original Gundam series. It has good mech design, decent character design, and aside from the utter madman who translated it, it's not too shabby. This is a mess. This takes a good but shaky show and shreds it to ribbons, and makes the characters just pale imitations of their UC counterparts. And that's not fair to the show it's adapting. If you're gonna make a movie out of the show, don't cock it up like this. And I know I say this pretty regularly, but if you want a textbook example of what not to do, here it is. I will say that some of the added footage isn't too... Oh no! Oh no 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 no! Nope 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 nope. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, 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 nope. If you like what you saw, consider donating to my Patreon to get early access to all the new vids as they come out. And as always, thanks for watching.